Lord of the Mysteries 22 Pathways Ability Introduction. Today we are looking at the pathway of Miss Messenger and Sharon, the mutant pathway also known as the chain pathway. The mystical creature form of this pathway is a doll bound by cursed thorny vines. This pathway belongs to the Sphero-Tenebrous world. From translator. In the Chinese community no one really calls this pathway the prisoner pathway, usually it is called the mutant pathway instead. Sequence 9 Prisoner. The mind is the prisoner of the body, and the body is the prisoner of the world. This sequence represents restricted madness and suppressed desires. Because of this, beyonders of this pathway often have a calm exterior with a crazy soul. They have a strong body, sharp senses, and all kinds of crime-committing abilities. They are also good at killing people with anything and everything. To them even pencils and spoons can be lethal weapons. Sequence 8 Lunatic. At this sequence beyonders can put themselves in a rage state, trading sanity and the release of desires for a huge boost in power. Because of this, beyonders at this sequence lose control very easily. Sequence 7 Werewolf. After reaching this sequence you will truly begin to mutate, even though this sequence will have powerful regeneration, frightening levels of strength, dexterity and agility. All attacks will also be imbued with poison that can turn others into werewolf-like monsters. In exchange for this power all sequences after this one will give you a curse. The curse for this sequence is every full moon you will lose all reason, turn into a werewolf and crave blood. If this happens too many times you will slowly become cold and twisted, losing your humanity. Sequence 6 Zombie. The curse of this sequence is you will crave human flesh and blood, which will worsen during the full moon. But don't succumb to these desires because they will increase your chance of losing control. When you reach this sequence your body will become as hard as iron, even a point-blank bullet to the head can only daze you. You will also have incredible vitality as long as your head isn't destroyed, nothing else is lethal damage. Sequence 5 Wraith. The cure at this sequence is, if you don't consume enough souls during a full moon you will be greatly weakened, and if you uncontrollably consume souls you will be on the verge of losing control. At this sequence you will be able to turn into a wraith, and gain the abilities to walk through objects, directly attack the soul, possession and death-related magic. Sequence 4 Puppet. At this sequence you will become a lifeless puppet, you will be able to control all lifeless objects. Now when you fight someone everything they are carrying, even their cloths, will become their enemy. And this you will gain a very broken ability, source of curses. It allows you to turn yourself into a voodoo doll. After you build a connection with your opponent all damage you take they will take as well, and with your incredible vitality and regeneration, fatal blows to others are nothing but a scratch to you. Sequence 3 Disciple of Silence. We don't see much of this sequence in the book, but we do know of a super broken ability you get, Deformation Curse. You can turn your enemies into rabbits, goats and other harmless creatures. Beyonders transformed by this ability will not be able to use their abilities. Most importantly, if the curse is not broken or removed it will last forever. As for Sequence 2 Ancient Bane, Sequence 1 Abomination and Sequence 0 Chained, the book never specifically mentions the powers of these sequences. From translator. Definitely one of the worst choices, only ahead of the Abyss pathway, but if you're a masochist who likes torturing yourself go ahead. From translator 2, done all 22 standard pathways, we'll make a summary, a compilation and videos about the outer god pathways next.